Welcome to part 2 of this combat mission basic commands tutorial. Now we're just about to start the second mission of the basic training campaign. And first of all, once again, you get the mission briefing and the tactical map. This is basically just a firing range, and we'll have mortars, off-map artillery, and as you can see we will be getting some armoured vehicles after about 5 minutes. So okay, let's just get on with this. Right, okay, so this is the battlefield, and as you can see we can't see anything yet, but things will pop up after the first move. But you can see we've got some heavy machine guns with some ammo bearers and the leader. We've got a couple of jeeps down here, which we won't end up using. Got a truck, and we've got some mortar teams. Now what we'll do first of all is set up the artillery, and you can see here we've got a forward observer team, and what we are going to do is lay down some artillery down here because there's some trench works and pillboxes. But we can't see anything just for the moment because this is the setup phase. Secondly, what we're going to do is look at the mortar teams and how they work. Now, what you see here is an associated ammo bearer for the mortar team, but they are a little bit too far away to hand over the ammo to the mortar team, so we're just going to move them up behind them. Okay, now just a quick word on commands. We've got our forward observer team, as we've already said here, who's going to actually be issuing the commands. You can see here we've got the artillery, and we've got the two mortar teams here not positioned. We'll cover that just in a second. What I want to get at is, if you look here, there is no line of sight for the mortar teams or the HQs here. So what is going to happen, and this is basic command and control, so it's important to have a bit of a feel for this. He's going to spot what needs to be attacked, and using his radio he is going to talk to, hopefully I click on the right one, no, 3rd Platoon HQ for mortars. He's going to talk to him via the radio, so there's going to be radio contact between these two guys, and then this HQ is going to be talking to this HQ that doesn't have a radio, but he will be able to call out the orders to our two mortar teams. And as you can see down here, we've got the two indicators saying that basically he can see the next guy in the chain of command, and also he's in audio range. Now, the other thing we noticed when we click again on the forward observer, that it says the two mortar are not positioned, and that's basically because they are not deployed. Now, usually they are got the deployed mode when you do the setups, but sometimes when you move them around, say you move them into a truck to pick up ammo, as I covered in my first video, part 1, when you move them out they will become not deployed, so it's well worth just checking to make sure. and all you need to do is just click the deploy weapon. Because this is the setup phase, there is no deploy delay. It's 49 seconds to deploy this weapon. Same goes for this one. Okay, so we've really got no visual targets as such at this moment in time, so let's just go ahead and click on the buttons. Alright, just as the turn is winding down, but we can always skip forward anyway. You can see we've got various armoured vehicles, German and Italian. That's because we're doing combat mission Fortress Italy, but the principle's the same for Battle for Normandy. You'll have something very, very similar to this layout. Now, none of these armoured vehicles are actually occupied. You can see they all say dismounted, and essentially all the crews are located down in this corner over here. It's basically so that you've got the ability to shoot and fire whatever you like to take out the tanks. Now down at the back here as well, there's trench works with pillboxes, bunkers going along here, and so you can get an idea of what it takes to take out one of these. Okay, so let's just hit the done button. Right, so the first thing we're going to do, where is he, is the forward observer. Now, one of the things to note is that if I click on the tank vehicle here, you can see that some of our units, the floating icons are still light, but others are dark. And that's because this is showing us who can actually spot him. Because if I click on the mortar team down here, they all turn dark. Now, on more difficult skill levels, because we're doing basic training skill level, we wouldn't see these at all. And the higher up it goes, the floating icons could totally disappear. Anyway, so first of all let's do the artillery. Now you can see here that everything's all set up for us. I'm going to do the artillery, and I'm going to hit the trench works with a linear target. Now I could use point if I decide something. Oh no, that's wrong. I have to go and click the X button here to cancel. Now for area target, we can click on any place that you can spot and then just pull back, or any direction that you want to. Sometimes you'll find yourself in a position where line of sight is blocked, like over here. You can see it's now turned into a no entry type of sign, but here we can. Now on some artillery you can't pull back fully to get a very, very large area, so you just click to say how big that's going to be, and again we're going to cancel. What we're going to do is linear target, so we take our starting position and we're going to go here. As you can see, it's not precise, but that is the length of our linear target. And it's asking us how many guns we want to use, and we're going to use all 4. We can drop smoke if we want. Harass is very light firing. What I mean by that, the rate of fire is very, very low, so it's almost just harassing the area that you are. So it's used much like light to say keep the enemy's heads down while you might be advancing, or you just don't want them to move. Medium is a little bit more heavier, and heavy is quite heavy. Emergency, there's less accuracy. We're going to do heavy. Now it's the duration. You can see you've got all these parameters coming up in this missions box. The duration, quick means it's going to be very short. Short means it's not going to be very long. Medium, long, and maximum. And maximum basically means it's not time specific. We're just going to keep on firing until we run out of ammunition. Now, how much ammunition have you got? That's shown in this little box here. So I'm going to do maximum. You can do a immediate 5-minute delay, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Now, because we've got on basic training, the delivery on this final line is going to show up as 1 minute or less than 1 minute. As you go up in skill difficulty in missions, then it's going to get a more realistic delay. And for off-map artillery, that can be several minutes. Now, as you saw, we did have the ability in the setup phase to actually fire artillery. If you are playing online against someone, either through email or direct, then it is advisable with your opponent to set up the etiquette beforehand, because some people do not like or appreciate artillery coming immediately down on their setup zone on the very first turn. Anyway, we're going to do this immediate.
Fire mission over.
Now, just to show you some of the other effects, we're going to just go around and now you can see when I clicked on that mortar, this has started to flash. So I'm going to do a point target on this Tiger. Now this is high explosive, and the likelihood of it causing any damage to the Tiger is extremely small. Now I'm going to do light and a short length.
Fire mission request over.
Now I'm going to do the same on one of the Italian tanks. Let's pick one of the small ones just to show you what the effect is like. So point, click on the tank, light, and confirm. Okay, and setting it up is as simple as that. As you can see, we're not actually firing yet.
Roger, fire mission request out. Roger, fire mission request out.
As I said, we're using basic training, so the firing is going to be start very quickly. And I just heard the first one going off, which is usually some sort of spotting round. And what will happen is those spotting rounds will fall. As you can see, that's way off target, and then the forward observer, or the person who's requested the fire, is basically going to communicate back to the mortar team through the route, saying, no, correct your fire to whichever the requested position is. Okay, so So while we're waiting for the tanks, I won't bother too much with the heavy machine guns, if at all. Now we can see the
Roger. Fire for effect. Over.
off-map artillery has started to come down.
Roger. Fire for effect. Roger. Fire for effect.
See, they're not entirely, although I did a point target, they're not entirely accurate, and I believe that's down to the skill of the issuer of the commands, as well as the mortar team. That's fairly close. No real damage yet. Now, did you see that? The floating icon on the tank has disappeared, and that's because there is so much dust around the vehicle that our spotter, plus the machine guns over there that could actually see him, can no longer see him. Now the dust has cleared slightly, so he pops up again. I'm hoping to get some on target just to... oh yeah, it's turned yellow, and it's... oh, sorry. See here it says immobilised. But the old Tiger here is having no effect whatsoever. It's something to remember if you're going to just drop mortars on armoured vehicles. Do not expect the medium and heavy tanks to receive any significant damage. There's a slight possibility, but it's highly unlikely. So the mortar fire is going along quite nicely. This is a good mission if you want to just practice mortar fire and how it works, and artillery. So we can just bring that to the end. Now we've got our tank reinforcements, which we'll deal with in a second. Just to show you, say you're in a situation now where you decide that you've done enough here and you want to move the mission or stop the mission. You can see here it says he's going to continue firing for 6 minutes. Just clicking on him brings us two buttons: cease fire or adjust mission. And if you cease fire, there's still going to be a few shells coming down before the ceasefire takes effect. Adjust mission, you can then change it to wherever you want, or at least where you can spot. But there will be a delay, as with ceasefire, in terms of you have a few shells still coming down, but also then for them to actually get the new mission parameters detailed through. Now I know that sounds rather overcomplicated, but someone on the Battlefront forums did actually write up a very nice little thing about what is involved and why there is these time delays for adjusting missions. You can see that the 2 mortars have now stopped firing, and we can actually now give them new missions if we want to, but I'm not interested in doing that just at this moment. Okay, I'm going to leave the artillery still firing, and now we're going to use the tanks. Now we do have this half track with this rather nice gun, and I'll leave that to you to play about with. Something I want to show you is this light tank, this Stuart tank. We've got 2 Shermans as well, 2 Ronsons I should say. Now let's just check on these. Something just to be aware of with the Sherman. These early ones have got a 75mm main gun, and they tend to be almost ineffective against the heavy and medium tanks. And that's because it's the velocity of the shell itself. It just doesn't get enough speed to be able to really punch a hole, take effect against the thicker armours. I think the British troops and also the later versions have a 76mm barrel, and although that doesn't sound very much, apparently that added an extra 50% velocity, so they are much more effective, the weapons, but the armour of the tank still leaves them a lot to be desired. Okay, so let's just get on. I'm going to move the tank up to here. We're going to play about with the Stuart. Now, certain circumstances, say you want to ambush or you want to point in a certain direction in terms of when you shoot, there is the commands for Target Arc and Target Arc Armour. Now, Target Arc Armour and this Target Briefly come in the combat mission Fortress Italy, and it's part of the upgrade, and that's something you'll have to buy on top of combat mission Battle for Normandy if you want it. And just very briefly, Target Armour Arc, you can create an arc left clicking, and it will only shoot at armour that falls within this arc area, unless something directly threatens it, I believe. Anyway, let's not get overly complex about it. Target means if you shoot at an area, and it's only areas that pop up light blue, you can see it goes dark blue, which means it can't spot beyond, no line of sight. It will shoot at that place with all of its weapons. Target light means it will only fire with its machine guns, its coaxial machine guns. Okay, now Target Arc. Again, like I just showed you with the Target Armour, it's basically an arc like this. Now, you can use this again on infantry. They can have the a Target Arc. You may want to stop the enemy spotting you by stopping your troops firing on enemy positions a long way away where certain weapons might be less effective, like rifles, etc. And so you're wasting ammunition, you're giving your position away, and the enemy shoots back at you with a heavier gun and takes you out. So you can use the Target Arc to actually stop your units firing too far away. Now, if you are using it for ambush purposes, what you don't want, and this is especially true for infantry, is for someone to come up behind you, and they're not in the, don't appear in the target arc. They get first shot at you before you start shooting back, defending yourself. So, how to get round this? Let's just press the clear target. If we press target arc, and now we hold the shift key down, and you can see we get a circle, and we can pull that out to whatever size we like, and so it's about 25. There you go. And now anything that falls within that circle that's an enemy that we've spotted, we will shoot at. So let's just fast forward. As you can see, he's not fired at anything. Let's just finish it. He's still got the target arc. Now, what I'll do is clear target. And you can see immediately he's starting to shoot at enemy tanks. Let's just fast forward. Okay, now this is going to look very nasty, but I want to show you this. Now, I can't remember whether, because we get these light tanks on Combat Mission Battle for Normandy, but I cannot remember if it's got this type of ammunition, which is 37mm can, which stands for canister. And this is grape shot, basically, to go into the naval vernacular. So anyway, what we are going to do, we are going to do a quick move, because this is quite a nippy little tank. And we are going to go over to where we know the crews are, so you can see the canister in effect. It's quite a nasty thing I'm going to do now. Now, the other thing that you can do under version 2 of the engine, which you couldn't in Battle for Normandy until you get if you get the upgrade. If you left click on a leg, so it's highlighted, and you keep your finger down, you can now actually move the waypoint. Something I was going to show you in the first video, part 1, but I forgot to do it. Let's follow the tank, and as he's moving and spotting, basically, these first 2 missions of the training campaign allow you to practice moving, and this one, which is quite useful, you probably want to do a save game so you don't have to do the first one, restart the first one again, just so you can go back to it to try things out. Now, I won't do the third mission in this campaign because it's an assault on a defending position. I'll leave that to you because for you to try out all your new skills. Should, yep, there we go. This is, now you should see canisters. So he's going to use canister. There you go. Let's just see that again. Very nasty. It does have quite a long range on it as well. If you've seen my Fortress Italy video, I believe at one point, because I get one of these, it fires quite a long range. Okay, well, again, the point of this mission is just to take out all the bunkers and the tanks, and then you can move on to the assault mission. There's really not that much more in terms of basic commands to show you. It's just on vehicles you've got this reverse command, so you can order it to reverse. So we'll reverse up. And it's advisable to do the turning steps, especially when you are going down roads and various pieces of terrain. You can see it's starting to reverse. Let's forward on this. Now you can see our artillery fire which has been coming down, and you can see it's actually not really destroyed any of them. So there's a little bit of potluck on that side of it as well. But if there'd been troops in that area, then it would have been nasty. Let's just take it to the end. And what we're going to do is a target briefly. And you can see a little timer has come up there as well, 15 seconds. So he's only going to fire for 15 seconds, and we'll see that going down. You can see it's the traverse, it's all down to reloading as well. So you've got to be careful because sometimes some vehicles have a long reload time, and I have been in circumstances with some vehicles that have only got off one shot. still firing away at the vehicles, you can see. Let's go forward. Now if I give him a target arc, let's hope he behaves. Looks like he is behaving, and he's not shooting at anything because there is nothing within his target arc. Let's just go to the end there. Now if I move, oh yes, there was another thing I was going to show you, which is useful for urban. Oh, I didn't move him forward far enough. I don't think even that's far enough. As you saw just then, something to be aware of for vehicles, that that's ammunition going off. So it's advisable not to put tanks or men next to burning vehicles. Let's come to the end of this. Okay, so if we clear target, now what I'm going to do, if you're travelling along hedgerows or through streets in a town or city, if you click on a leg, you can issue additional commands. So with a target arc, you can issue one there, different one there, and one there. Now I did find once before that when I tried to do a clear target on a leg, it didn't work. So I would advise on the last leg, if you're going clear across the street, then to do the usual hold the shift key down and create a big circle. So now what we should see is when he reaches points the leg, as you can see that he's reached that leg. So for the length of this leg, he's keeping the turret turned this way to spot anything. So that's useful if you're going down urban areas and you want to cover yourself. That's it for this video. I'm thinking of doing a one more training one, but it's going to be a little bit different in that I'm going to go through the quick battle screen. Anyway, thank you for watching.